Hey, I'm Hailey.
And I'm Jessi.
And you're listening to
Personality Hire, the podcast where if you were to say you had a collection of anything, what would you say your collection is?
Clothes.
I was going to say we have the same one.
Yeah.
Mine is also clothes.
Makeup. Products, lippy products. Dog hairs from my German Shepherd.
Mine is definitely clothes.
Clothes, yeah.
And it has been clothes since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
That is what I collect.
I've always loved clothes.
I love, specifically if you're going to get down to like the niche item of clothing that I collect, it's going to be jackets. I love a very cool jacket.
Too.
I can never say no to a jacket.
No.
Like I don't have very many tops in my wardrobe.
No,
but I have a
no
jacket.
Shirts.
I don't have any shirts, but all I need is a tank. Because I'm going to put a jacket over
and
it.
We live in Atlanta. So that's going to like work for a long time. For like 3 months.
I love a jacket.
3 months.
So that's what I collect.
I agree. I collect those as well. I mean, I have a jacket laying right there that, I mean, I can't see.
It's got a little fringe on it.
Because it doesn't fit in that closet. I need to get rid of some. I honestly need to wrap it up, tighten the screws.
I would love to hire someone to come and evaluate my closet space and say, here's where we're going to maximize it, because I'm not doing it justice. I'm really not. Yeah. I feel like that's a common probably issue for a lot of people is you go into your closet, you don't know what you have in there. I saw on Cribs. Listen, this is where I was really inspired as a young woman on Cribs back in the day. I forget what celebrity did this.
I want the share thing.
But they would take Polaroids of their shoes,
a lot of people
or jewelry,
that. And they put them on the thing.
Put them on the box. You can see that. And I thought that was so smart. But
you have to have a lot of space to do that.
Saw that first on Cribs, and I remember thinking, this is the height of luxury.
Yes,
this means you've made it.
It's true.
But anyway, yeah. How you doing? How was your trip?
It was good. It was really fun. It was really relaxing. We did nothing but sit on the beach and like frolic. That was really fun. I truly have so much fun with J-Dog. We just like vibe correctly. Like when we're chill, we're chill. And you know, it's not one of those situations like, is something wrong? Because when I'm truly just not on, I'm off, which is obvious, right? But sometimes people will be like, are you okay? Unless they know you well. Like you'd never say that to me. Like we could walk around a city and like be quiet for a second. You wouldn't be like, are you mad at me? Like, I'm not mad.
You don't have to fill every moment with talking.
And I'm absorbing and I'm relaxed and I don't feel like my brain needs to fire at 1,000,000 miles a minute. And then when we're like ready to like be silly and goofy, we're silly and goofy and like turn it up. So that was really fun about this trip.
I think too, you guys are it's so nice to like get confirmation that your person is well matched with you in that way or well suited with you in that way. And I think traveling is the ultimate way to do that with friends too. Yeah. But definitely with a significant other. Yeah. To find out you guys are well
compatible. Yeah. Yeah. We just had such a blast. Good. I will say I did myself so dirty at the end of the trip. Two ways. There's 2 ways I did myself dirty. And I think both of these are beneficial for other people to consider for themselves. One, whilst on the trip, every day the hotel provided, like lounge chairs and an umbrella. So we didn't have to do anything. We would just walk out there. I brought like a Trader Joe's cooler bag for our cooler because I didn't want anything bulky. Like I didn't want to be like, even though he'd be carrying it, but still. So we would put beverages in there. So we didn't have to get up. We could just sit there. We didn't have to go to the hotel bar or do anything. We had waters. We had all the things. One day, I had to go out to retrieve some beverages because, buying anything at the hotel, they had like a little store. They have like, you could buy water and stuff there. It's so expensive. Like a water bottle is $16.99. You know what I mean? Like they jack it up. So I go out and then I see these things called, I think you've probably seen them. Everybody's seen them probably. They're called Cutwater drinks. They're an alcoholic beverage.
Heard about these.
I think they make like a ranch water. I don't know. I've heard good things. So they have a buy one, get one free at the store. So I'm like, we're going to try it. Or no, it was 50% off. I did get Sip Margs, buy one, get one free. Alex Earls. And those are really good. So recommend those. So I get the Cutwater, they're espresso martinis. I don't think anything of this. I'm thinking in my mind, like, surely these aren't like a legit espresso martini because it's canned. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was like the hint of an espresso martini. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You
like
didn't
a
think you were
LaCroix.
going to open it up and be like, this is a full-on espresso drink inside of this, like a coffee drink inside of this can. Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. I had 2 in one day. And I've had 2 espresso martinis in one day before. No. This was different. I think it's because I was in the heat and I was in the sun, whatever. I felt so ill the next day, the morning, like at 6 a.m. And I was like, and I didn't feel like, it's not like I drank too much or any of that. It was just, it was residual, like in my belly. Does that make sense?
Also, Cutwater has an extremely high alcohol content. They are deceivingly high in alcohol.
I had no idea.
And they have a reputation for getting people lit up.
Okay,
Cutwater,
I had no idea.
Cutwater is known for, if you're trying to cut up, you're going to drink Cutwater.
Okay, I had no idea. Now I know.
Because some people say that it's called Cutwater because you're supposed to cut it with water. Like,
ooh.
But
well, I was also on a beach.
Right. But I don't know. That was hard. That's misleading because you definitely probably had way more alcohol than you had thought you were.
Yeah, that was
Cutwater
fine.
They're sneaky.
It was sneaky. And I was fine. Like throughout the day, it was just the next morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, and it was just my stomach. And I was like, what sugar did I have? Because I already know, like, if I have too much sugar, my stomach is going to be, and my stomach was. So that was the one thing I had that was like, beneficial for other people to know. Maybe cut it with water and don't ever drink an espresso martini on the beach. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I like espresso martinis and I'm on vacation. Let's try it. No.
But did you have a good time that day?
Oh my gosh, we had a blast.
Well,
that was probably one of our favorite days.
Then that was probably why, because you had an espresso martini.
We rode jet skis that day. We did it all.
So fun. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, we had so much fun. And I've never been on a jet ski on the ocean. So
different experience.
Oh, way different. We saw a huge sea turtle.
How was your undercarriage after that?
You know what?
A little battered? A
Well,
little bruised?
I've ridden horses and I also have been on the back of a motorcycle before. So I knew what to do. Mm-hmm. So I was fine. I noticed it right away though. And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to lift. I'm going to have to watch the waves. So I was watching the waves and that's how we saw the sea turtle, by the way. So good. Beneficial. Beautiful.
A little nature.
A little
jet ski, a little espresso
martini. A little cut it with the water next time. But the other thing that I learned was, and I already have said this before, but I think that I'm going to be fine after doing something fun every time. Like if I'm on set for a few days and then I have to go back to work the next day. Never do that. And I've told myself that before. I've said, I don't care how bad you feel for taking off work. No one's life is going to explode. Take the day off. You need time to decompress every time. So I think after this vacation, I'm like, well, I didn't take off any days from the week before, but the week before that, I had to take off a day for acting. And so I was like, I feel bad. So I didn't do it. And listen, I'm telling you, the people I work for, they would have understood. They would have been fine. It's me. I'm the problem. So I didn't take the next day off. So that meant we came home. I immediately dropped off J-Dog because we took my car. It's a little bit more roomy. We dropped off J-Dog. Immediately from there, go to Alpharetta to pick up my dog at the Borders, at the boarding house, get her, drive back here, quick change, go to an engagement dinner that I didn't get home to until wait, what? I didn't get home until 11 p.m. And then I had to be at work at 8:30 a.m.
That's a lot.
And then I was at work until 5. No. 5:45 last night. So I'm just saying that's not good. You guys just take a day off. Take another day off.
Yeah, I think it's pretty like common people thinking like I need a vacation from my vacation because you just had so much fun and used all your energy, and you need to account for kind of like re-upping on that before you head back into your regular life.
Also, I'm like, I got the laundry done, but I still have to unpack. I haven't been able to like tidy up. Like you just feel like all over the place. And then the rest of my week is packed with work. So
but we're glad that you got to go.
Yes, I'm very glad. Yes. I'm not saying I'm not grateful.
Yes, yeah. No, I know.
No, I was literally just saying, ladies, gentlemen, no hot water, espresso martinis, and take a day off afterwards because I did.
Had it.
I still feel very glad that I went on obviously, like it was a blast. We had so much fun. But I need to remember that for next time. And I need to not feel bad for taking a day off, another day, because you know what? I literally never take days off. So that's for the girls. That's for the boys.
Put in your PTO.
Put in your PTO.
If you have
You're not
PTO.
going to die. It's fine.
PTO. I'm not going to lie. I feel I'm having a hard time making sentences today. So I'm ready to talk about anything anybody wants to talk about. Oh, I was going to tell you this. This came across my desk.
Okay.
And it was a question we've talked about before, but I wanted to tell you my new answer.
Okay.
It was who would play you in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to tell you my answer and see how you felt about it for me.
Okay.
I said Amy Poehler because she's smart, she's funny, and she's had a varied career.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that is true. Like, would Amy Poehler really play me in a movie? Probably not.
I think it depends what movie it is. Like, how are we writing this movie?
I don't know. I just love Amy Poehler so much.
I love her. She's the best.
I also
wait, what was your change? Or that's your new answer?
Yeah, I forget. We talked about this like a year ago, and I can't remember what I said.
I can't remember what you said.
I think,
but but I'm not shocked that you say Amy Poehler. So that's why I was like, wait, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think last time we talked about this, you said Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a new one? Or
that's for you.
For me?
That was for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I think she does like a wide range so she could hit your whole life. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we're not doing the whole life, but we're doing a part of it. But she would have I just imagine her having the emotional range to carry your life. I don't know.
Who's yours again? Remind me.
I don't remember what I said. I feel like it'd be Chris Farley. Rest in peace.
Chris Farley would play you in a movie.
I'm kidding. But
Chris Farley
I would be
in
honored.
a van down by the river.
Yes.
Would play you in a movie.
Oh, my heart just lit up.
I think a Kristen Wiig would be appropriate.
Kristen Wiig.
Do a good job with you.
But I'm not even Kristen Wiig's age yet. So like.
Well, obviously. But.
So I think of like where we're at now. And I wouldn't even say Amy Poehler for you. And that's why I said Margot Robbie. Because I don't know what's going to happen later. So I can't cast someone for something that I don't know if they're right for. Who knows what's going to happen? I could do anything. And so that's why I think of this like as an actor. I do. So like, that's why I'm like, I think of it right now at our age, who would play us. That's why I said Margot Robbie. If I'm trying to think. And I also think of like who looks like you, because I think that's a big thing, especially if you're still alive. Like, it's really important. Like when we watch all these biopics being made, I just think of that. But I think maybe the girl, her name is Grace Van Patten. She plays Lucy in Tell Me Lies. She looks like she could be my cousin. That's why I say that. We have similar like facial structure things. I'm trying to think who else. And that's like but if it's a dream standpoint, Kristen Wiig. Yeah. I would love Kristen Wiig.
I'm just going off vibes. That's just what I'm saying. Vibes wise, not age or like anything like that, just vibes. But anyway, that was my new one. I was just going to tell you that. And the other thing is I forget, I think it's either the 30th anniversary. I think it's the 30th anniversary of Clueless is this year. Yeah. And I think that I've said this, but I have not overstated enough how important Clueless is to me in so many ways. I'm not a big movie girl. I don't watch a lot of films. I just don't. And Clueless, however, is the most important movie to me. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, but there's like a lot of different things. It was a true coming of age for me, and it's a 30th anniversary, and that blows my mind. That is absolutely insane. I love that movie, and I implore you all to watch Clueless.
If you haven't seen Clueless, what are you doing?
I'm sure you have, but just watch it again. Watch it again with your big girl panties on, because also, now when you watch it as an adult,
it's different.
It not only is it different, but you get to clock how these teenagers were living in this time where they were truly like these adult themes. Like,
yeah,
you
they're
just
very
don't,
adult.
You just don't kind of like clock it the same way as you do now. And the clothes, I think now more than ever, the clothes really hit. Like they've never not hit, but now more than ever, the clothing is just absolutely. It's
so good.
It's works of art inside of this film. Like the way that the clothing is represented for each character, and the mention of Alaya, the Awada, like a totally important designer. I will totally you in the head. Like, it's so good.
It's so good.
And I think
also,
about
Brittany
Clueless
Murphy
all the time.
Is an icon in it. And Jessi for my birthday got me little Clueless dolls, and they're so iconic. But the Brittany Murphy is so funny.
Also,
it looks they did her dirty in that. But I love it though because it's funnier.
You're a virgin who can't drive.
You're a virgin who can't.
I've been doing abs of steel on my buns of steel. My buns don't feel nothing like steel. Also, Paul Rudd's in that movie.
Also, that's the one part about the movie that I'm like, and I thought it was weird when I was a kid, but Paul Rudd and Cher
get together and they are ex-step siblings. So, it's
weird.
It's a little odd, however.
All the fish in the sea. Why your ex-step brother?
Because maybe that's how they were meant to find one another.
But also, like, if Paul Rudd was in front of my face and I had the option to date him, I would date him.
I mean,
I would.
Obviously.
He is an amazing man. He is so funny.
He's also hot.
He is stunning.
And
he's not even hot.
Might I remind you, it does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty. Oh, and the other line that I'm sorry, I'm just going to say the whole movie. The other thing I say all the time is, in some parts of the world, maybe not in contempo casual, but in some parts of the world, it's cool to know what's going on. Contempo casual?
That's so funny.
That also reminds me, I shopped at Contempo Casual, but I also shopped at a store called 579. Do you remember that store?
I remember seeing it. I was
problematic.
Not old enough to like actually shop there, but I remember going in with my babysitter, Jenna. Shout out, Jenna. I hope you're well. And she would shop there. And I remember thinking it was like the top of the top.
It was, but deeply problematic.
Yeah, 5, 7, 9 are the only sizes.
A 5, a 7, or a 9, which those are junior sizes, mind you. Like these are obviously not, women's sizes are in evens, and those were odds, or juniors. If you were not a 5, a 7, or a 9, which is tiny, you ain't shopping there. That's crazy.
Also, remember in Mean Girls, they had like a 1, 3, 4, like something like similar. That like also didn't make sense though. But like, why don't you try Sears?
I saw recently that Sears did have like a husky, quite literally like a husky department back in the day, where they had like a line for husky children. Walmart, husky. Walmart currently, I saw, was getting some grief because they also had a few signs up that said husky, these are for husky children, because they had them husky in their school,
a crazy term,
school uniform department.
Okay, I remember making fun of my dad when I was like 12 because my Aunt Laura, his younger sister, told me at Thanksgiving, yeah, I remember when we went shopping for your baseball uniform and you had to get the husky size. And that's when I first heard that. Like I'd never, because it wasn't really a thing when I was growing up that I knew of. But he had to wear sorry, Groot, I just outed you in your husky uniform. That one year you had to purchase a husky size.
Husky, using the word husky in that way is adjacent to hefty. Like,
is that why?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking like
you are
fluffy like a dog.
Well, you're fluffy, but it's not fur, and it's a little bit more substantial. You hefty.
You hefty, I guess.
You're a hefty.
That's what they were saying.
I wish we would call it like you're just solid. You're just like a solid kid. You've got a lot of muscle.
Stout. I don't know if stout is very kind, but like I think it's like doesn't. If someone said I was stout,
I would say I'm not Santa.
Athletic build.
There you go. It's athletic build is what we should be calling it.
Yes.
Not hefty, not husky, athletic not stout. Hefty. It's.
I remember
build.
like watching or reading the magazines when you were little, and they would tell you when you were little. Gosh, I was reading magazines. I probably. I don't know if I shouldn't have been reading them. They didn't say anything bad, but it was like 17 or Teen Vogue. Oh, I miss Teen Vogue. I would read a Teen Vogue today. I would still subscribe to a Teen Vogue and have that sent to me. But at one point, I think it was for Christmas or for my birthday, bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. That, oh my gosh, iconic sneeze. You are so skinny and small and frail, and you're like a feather. Yeah, like how did you make that noise?
I don't know.
You didn't make a noise.
I'm so small.
You gave like a little bit one at the end. That was crazy.
So tiny.
That was the most petite sneeze for a mouse. No, but one Christmas, I think my mom got me for a Christmas gift subscriptions to 17 and Teen Vogue, which such a good present, by the way. Mm-hmm. Such a great present. If you do it at the end of the year, I think you get a really good deal still today. I always see them in the, like when I get a magazine, the little flyer that's like subscribe and you get a free tote and you also get, you know, all this, the whole year for like $70, which is worth it, especially if you vision board. But they would say the swimsuits that you could buy and what would look best on your shape of body. Mm-hmm. And I was always really confused. And my body is still the same. I look exactly like my mother in the body, straight up and down with athletic thighs. And I remember I would be like, well, I have to choose between the straight up and down and the athletic build. And I would always choose athletic build because they had more coverage and provided me with more safety. But I think that's messed up, kind of. But also, still today, I wish I had someone saying, this is what you should wear.
I think the body type thing is very helpful, but it's very confusing.
Yes. Especially if you're a combo, because you can be a combo.
The magazine thing just reminded me, I was just thinking this yesterday, that when you reach a certain age, the Big Brother knows, and they start to send you free magazines in the mail that become increasingly more
like AARP.
Not really offensive, but just kind of like making you aware of where people think you should be in whatever spot of age you are in your life, which is wild. Because
also think of who's running these companies and working for them.
Well, but it has everything to do with just like they get your address and your demographic. However, my point is that you get these free magazines, and like for instance, I am getting Better Homes and Garden now. I also
for free.
That's
actually legit.
Well, I guess, but I don't really. That's not my vibe. There, you just start getting like there's another thing called Grandin Road, which I get now, which is going to be your decor for any holiday. It's going to be the magazine that you get your goose from, that you dress outside of every holiday that you put there. Magazine. But you start to get free magazines of where they think that you should be in your place and time in your life for your specific age group, and sometimes they're a little bit like, this isn't me. This isn't who I thought I would be. But anyway, just that could happen to anyone at any point in time.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to that, truly, because the only magazines I get for free is once a year around Christmas. I get the Amazon Prime one. Mm-hmm. And then I get once a year, probably around the holidays, a Victoria's Secret one. But that's it.
Oh, I saw they're bringing back the the Vicky Secret Angel show.
Thank goodness.
Because it went away, I think, for a year or two.
They need to up with the times.
They're bringing it back with some of the OG supermodels, which I really like.
I love that. They did that a few years ago, and it flopped really hard. But I think they just have the wrong people ahead of this. And also, I think they're doing too much with influencers right now.
I think that they also just need to, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm also like, even if you are a brand, like this is very unpopular actually, and I know, but I'm going to stick to this opinion. I think that brands need to have a little bit more of a backbone nowadays.
Yeah.
And if you are doing something that people don't like, you don't need to bend over backwards to please everyone. Stay in your lane, because now we're back with the OG supermodels who are rail thin because they had backlash from doing something different in the past. Also, another example of this, in my opinion, is Cracker Barrel. Like they just flip-flopped on their branding. And if they were going to really, like, if you're really going to go for it, go for it. There is something to be said about listening to your demographic and giving people what they want. I hear you, but you've got to just stop. Have a backbone. If you're going to do something as a brand, do it. Or if you're going to stick to it, something that you've always done, stick to it. I'm saying within reason. I'm not saying to be insensitive or unkind, stick to it. I'm just saying, let's have a little bit more of like a, but this is who we are. And yes, you can evolve,
and
but
you don't have to be for everybody.
You don't have to be a 180 just to please every single person.
That's what I think Victoria's Secret did a little bit, especially with the influencers. That's what I was talking about as far as the influencer thing. They like went so hard and just had everyone model for them at one point.
I think sometimes if you're a brand and you try to if you're a brand and you try to make yourself for everyone right now, anyway, in my opinion, you're actually making yourself for no one. And that's a marketing opinion and a public relations opinion I've held for a long time, is that you don't have to drill down your niche to the extent to where you're alienating every single person. Yeah. However, if you are for everyone, you're likely going to appeal to no one. And I also sometimes feel that way about my friendships. If you are a friend to everyone,
that's so true.
Sometimes that could mean in some instances you're a friend to no one.
I think it'll, I don't know. That's not saying not being kind to everyone.
No.
No one's asking you to alienate anyone. But if someone's done your friend dirty and you're still going out and hanging out with them and going to their birthday party and all that stuff.
That's exactly right. The way that I interpret that phrase is that if you are really my friend and you're in a circle where they're talking smack about me and you're not going to stick up for me because you're too afraid of you need to be a friend to everyone and you're not willing to stick up for me in a certain circle or whatever, then that means you were not a friend to anyone, because you're definitely not a friend to me in that moment. Not speaking necessarily from experience, but I've seen that a lot, and that's just whatever. I'm talking about brands in this moment, but I wish that they would have a little bit more of just, they don't have to appeal to everybody, and that's okay.
And it also goes to friendships, but it's also just being a person in the world. I see this with like celebrities or influencers or whatever. If you are for everybody, you're really not going to be for anyone, because no one is going to connect with that, because it is so inauthentic to be for everybody, because there's no way that you can be for everybody unless your name is Jesus. I really don't think that. Same with I don't know. I feel like this comes up a lot in my career, where you try to be right for every audition you get. You can't be right for everything. You just have to be you within within that information, and send it off and say, maybe this works, maybe it doesn't for you. And there's a lot of things that sometimes I'm like, oh, that's interesting, they called me in for this, but let's take a swing at it. And sometimes it works. Honestly, if I'm being myself, it's always working. It just might not work for that show or that movie. And I think it's the same with everything else. Brands, friendships.
Yeah.
You just have to, it's hard. I think it's actually incredibly hard being authentic.
I was just going to say,
especially
it just goes back
now.
to the authenticity piece.
Yeah.
Like, you're obviously not going to be for everyone if you're being authentic to you, because you shouldn't be. And that means I think that means you're doing something right, actually.
Yeah.
If you have some people who aren't necessarily wishing you not
bad,
well.
Yeah. It's not about being
like
bad blood. Like, I don't mean like, we don't have to be mean or unkind.
But we also don't have to be
fake
BFFs with everybody.
Yeah. It's fake.
It can be a little
so fake.
It can be a little something, but yeah, I think I got off on that tangent just from the magazine thing, but
yeah,
I'll keep you updated on, we do get AARP from time to time.
I know that. Well,
a lot
the
of
reason
hobby
I
magazines
said that,
too.
the
Like,
ARP, is because I see, well, I do have a lot of older neighbors, but I have some ones that I would not expect to get an AARP magazine, and they do. So I'm always like, oh, I guess they're hunting for the future.
They're grooming us.
They're fishing. They're grooming
for the future.
AARP.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I do love a magazine though. And
I
always,
love magazines.
there's something about touching a physical magazine. There's something about opening up a perfume sample in the magazine and running your little wrist, and you're risking a paper cup, but you're getting that on
you
there.
Don't even care.
Yeah. That experience that sometimes you would go and I don't know if you remember this, but sometimes you could go to the grocery and the magazines would be inside of a plastic bag because the plastic bag contained like a sample of something.
Oh my gosh.
Remember
yes,
that?
I do remember that.
That was very important to me. And then the fold out posters. I was at a fitness class. I was at a Pilates class last week, and the instructor was having to explain to some of the younger girls in the class what a centerfold was and how you got posters out of magazines, and how there used to be in some magazines, you open it up and on both pages isn't one photo, that's the centerfold. Yes. And I just think that's, that is definitely, maybe it'll come back though.
I think it's going to come back.
The one thing that I do find interesting though is things like, well, as much as I do want it all to come back, I want print to come back so badly, is things like the AJC, for instance, here in Atlanta is going digital only. And I think that makes sense. I don't know. I think that it's been trending that this would happen for many, many, many years. I think they've held on for a really long time, which is great. But the one thing that sucks is that everything's behind a paywall now. And if you want access to news,
you have to subscribe. So you can't just buy one issue. You have to buy all the issues.
And that's the sad part to me is I understand they need to make money. Well, no, it's like a monthly subscription,
right,
to their website.
You can't just buy one paper. Like you're buying all the papers.
Right. Sure. Or like sometimes you can buy per article.
Okay.
But the one thing that's
I don't even
just
want to buy per article. Sometimes I want just that week.
But I understand that they need to make money. They have to have an income to create the news that they create. So I definitely understand the paywall. It just is a bummer because the access to information is dwindling when it comes to real journalism, and these writers and journalists who are truly out there trying to report on the truth of what's happening in our communities and our neighborhoods. And then the access to that is diminishing because we have to pay for it and not everybody can afford it. It's a bummer. And so now I feel like we've had this discussion before about how these were, I was griping about how just because you have a platform doesn't mean you're an expert on everything. You are only an expert in your personal life.
Hurricane guy.
But to that point, it got me thinking about how we are relying more and more on external resources to provide us daily news or information that are outside of traditional journalists because the access is going away. You got to pay for it. And so I just wish that there was
providing for more misinformation.
But I wish that there was a happy medium between being able to empower some of these people that have platforms like on social media to provide correct information where it's free, without having to worry about having to decipher for yourself if it's true or not all the time, because that's what these journalists provide us is truth and trust. And without that trust in a influencer or a social media journalist, it's so hard because, anyway, it just got me thinking about that.
It's frustrating. And also you hear about so many things like not being reported now too. So there's like this, it's just like we're in a time. I'm not going to get into it, but we are in a time. And that's when I say I'm going to send up the bat signal for Robin Meade. Robin Meade, my favorite journalist of all time. She made me want to she was the only reason I went to school for telecommunications and film. I didn't even want to be a journalist. I just wanted to be Robin Meade because she's the boss. But I really appreciated her because she would deliver the news empathetically, yet truthfully and not emotionally. And so I felt like I could really trust her. You know what I mean? And I feel like we don't get that as often anymore. I'm speaking solely from my perspective of me growing up and watching journalists and being aware or caring. And I don't think I cared until a certain point when I saw HLN every morning, the Morning Express with Robin Meade. And that's when I noticed journalists for the first time as someone who's like actually cares. So I'm telling it from that perspective, not talking about like the, journalists in Teen Vogue or, I'm talking about like actual serious stories going on in our world.
I think all journalism is important and valid.
Yeah,
Hailey and I both got our degrees in journalism. We both did various forms of journalism throughout our college careers, but I think that you're saying that the current event side of things, that news cycle moves so fast. For instance, like somebody that's writing something for a fashion or beauty magazine, that news cycle isn't quite as fast as a current events or someone that reports on world affairs or things like that. So the news cycle is different. The people that write that have a different cadence, and their ability to be objective about products or people or places or things is actually what you value, their point of view.
Yes.
When you are reporting on current events or politics or things happening throughout the world, the point of view, it's tends to lean more, the people that we're looking for, Hailey and I are talking about, or we want them to lean more factual as opposed to providing their point of view.
Yes.
I want your point of view as a journalist on a product. How did it perform? I want to understand, when should I use it? Is it value for money? When you're telling me about something that's happening across the ocean that I have no access to whatsoever, I want the truth. I want the facts, and I don't necessarily want your point of view as much as I want your ability to have me trust you, because I know you're telling me what's the real deal. So like there's just different types of journalism.
And I think social media like really muddied all of that as well, because people like, they'll be like, if you don't repost this, like, I think you're whatever, like you're against this or against that. No, I'm not going to repost most of the stuff because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if this is an emotional standpoint or a real one. Like it's so muddy now. And I mean, there are things that, I don't know. I just think like we're just in a growth, like we're going like this, skyrocketing with technology and with how we're getting our information, all that. And there's just so much going on, and it's really hard to tell without journalists being popular. Like it's just not popular anymore.
Well, that's why I'm so interested to see, and honestly, for myself, selfishly, career-wise, how digital media transforms the way we get our information, and how specifically interview formats of people on digital media, like people becoming more aware of using like YouTube, for instance, to access interviews for people, podcasting to access interviews of people, because now we have to, I think in order to really, seeing is believing, I want to see it from the horse's mouth, and I want to interview that direct person, as opposed to having like a journalist write an article after the interview. I would rather watch the interview real time, live action. For me, that's exciting. So I want to watch the journalist ask the questions, and I want to see the response immediately. So I'm so interested to see how digital media continues to evolve to fold in these interviews, these real time interviews, so people can have that access, but they can also make their own informed decision based on seeing the person interview and answer in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
I just, again, just going back to the AJC and going all digital, it's happening. It's happened in so many different communities across the country. It's been happening for years. I mean, magazines were the first to kind of like really feel the heat years and years and years ago. And now it's kind of like, continuing on. But I think it's just an evolution. And I think we just have to kind of ride out the evolution, because there might be something even cooler than social media up ahead that delivers a better, more informed, exciting, truthful way to get your news that hasn't been invented yet. I don't know. And also journalists are really thankless job, and it's a really cool job, and they don't get paid enough, and they really don't get let go constantly
so easily.
And the newsrooms are tiny, and the beats that they cover are so humongous, and they're expected to come out with so much content all the time, so quick. The news cycle is quicker and quicker and quicker. But but I do find that fascinating. I just think that journalism is a fascinating career. And it's so cool.
Underappreciated.
And the fact that we live in a country where journalists, they should be anyway, able to report the way that they see fit is also great without minimal, and I'm not going to say completely obstruction free from our government, but minimal obstruction. Whereas other parts of the world, propaganda, baby. Propaganda.
Well, yeah.
So I love journalism. I do.
Same.
Writing is so cool.
It is.
I do. I love writing.
I've been, speaking of writing.
I love write.
I love write.
I love the alphabet.
I love write. I love pens.
I love words.
I love pencil.
Yeah.
I love paper.
Yeah.
I love aligned paper.
Yes, thank you.
I've been watching Sex in the City again from the top. And watching Sex in the City as an adult versus when I was watching it on reruns, because obviously I was a baby when it came out. But watching reruns when I was a teenager, which I liked I liked what they were wearing. Besides Miranda Hobbs, girl, she was done so dirty.
I think they were trying to do this weird professional woman vibe
and
for
they
her.
made her look like a carrot stick every day.
And it didn't really capture her true personality.
No, I felt bad because I'm like, this is actually an amazing character.
Who's the woman that plays Miranda?
Cynthia.
Yes. I mean, when you see her in real life, like
she's chic.
She's so chic, and I wish they would have done that.
They've done her so dirty. So many episodes, I was like, please get her out of this turtleneck. Like, and it's not like turtlenecks can be very cute, but with her hair and what they were doing. And then there's one episode where they do make her look like hot because she's like, maybe I want to have an experience that I haven't had before. And it was like, sissy experience. And so she goes to meet with these people and she's like considering it. And I was like, oh my gosh, why aren't they dressing her like this? She looked classy. She was still Miranda. Like it wasn't Miranda. I do that to Justin all the time. And he's like, what? And I'm like, Miranda?
Steve.
I love him. Him and his one bizarre. Miranda? But I'm sorry.
Miranda.
Carrie, you broke my heart. Aiden. Wait, no, it's you broke my heart, Carrie. Like Carrie.
He definitely, every line he delivers was very breathy. Ooh,
it was guttural.
Yeah.
Ugh. Anyway.
He's hot.
He is very attractive. He always has been. Aiden. He was very immature though, but it's fine. Everybody on the show, besides, that's what I was getting to. I was connected through the journalism perspective of, it made me wonder, or wait, what'd she say? I started methinks. What did she say?
And I couldn't help but wonder.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Or I couldn't help but think. I couldn't help but wonder.
But she was a journalist. So that's why I was saying that. Or a writer. Samantha Jones. Oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed. I'm nothing like Samantha Jones personally, but everything that she everything she represented and represents is just so outstanding. Like last night I watched an episode where someone shamed her for getting with someone that she got with a long time ago. And she was like, if I was a man, you'd be pouring me a glass of whiskey. And she walks out and then she gets this huge job her feelings, she just stood up for herself. And I was like, that was not common then.
No.
And like, honestly, the things she was doing on that show in the 90s, early 2000s, I don't even know when this stuff was filmed. I know it was a long time ago. But whenever it was written, I want to just pat that person on the back because that's how women are starting to act now. And so it's amazing to me to be like, oh my gosh, this wasn't normal for Samantha Jones to be a character. And she's so iconic. And Kim Cattrall is such a great actress. And I don't think you know what my best knowledge of her acting is Ice Princess, which slayed the house down boots. She was excellent in that. But watching her as a younger woman, play Samantha Jones, a character that was not common in the world. Like that personality was not common. I don't think. Maybe it was.
No, I think that her approach to sex,
or not represented.
Her approach to sex positivity was not common when the show was initially popular, and she represented something that was definitely a FU to the patriarchy that a lot of people hadn't seen yet. And yeah, her sex positivity was groundbreaking on television for sure, which is why
but not only her sex positivity, like, cause that's the part like I don't really relate to. However, what I relate to being judged, I relate to being held to a different standard. I relate to wanting the world and seeing a world where I don't know if I can have the world because I'm not a man, or not caring like just like a man does, because that's something we can learn from a man or two.
She was very tapped into her masculine energy in a way that
but
also
still so feminine, and like just the way when she did care, what an important moment that was, because it was so relatable, because it's how women probably feel now, where it's like, I do care what you think, but I know that I shouldn't. And also and she was still so strong. Like, I just watched the episode last night where Miranda's mom passes and Samantha wants to avoid having an emotional connection to this at all costs. And I haven't figured out why yet. Like, I think that's going to happen in the next episode, maybe, hopefully. And maybe it's just she's avoidant when it comes to emotional stuff, which I also totally relate to. And then I watch her hit this point where she's at the funeral and she hasn't called Miranda. She hasn't checked into Miranda. And then Miranda turns around at the funeral after the priest keeps like mispronouncing things and like calling Miranda her brother's wife, like just because it was just one of those things where like everything that can go wrong will go wrong, but you're just so emotionally exhausted, you have nothing to give, and Miranda's like sitting there like this, just letting it happen, because Miranda would speak up usually. She's another strong person, but Samantha like looks over at her and realizes she's been holding in, like penting up all of this emotion because she's been so strong and had to be so strong for herself for so long. And she just looks at Miranda and she mouths, "I'm sorry," and then just starts quietly sobbing. And I was like, oh my God, like, did you win anything for this scene? Because that scene, like, I was bawling watching it, like, just so underrated. And everybody needs to go back and like watch Sex and the City from the beginning and really study the friendship dynamics. It's just beautiful. Like, I'm glad I'm watching it. And thank you to my friend Jenny who suggested it. And it's so good. Kim Cattrall, you're amazing.
And sidebar, another show with incrable clothing on all the characters.
That's what I thought it was for. Like, I didn't realize.
Yes. You didn't know the storylines were like.
I thought Jenny recommended it to me because she knows I'm obsessed. My clothes are hobbies. My clothes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, so I was like, okay, like, I'm going to watch this. And by the way, yes, except when Carrie goes, and I've just been sent the clip, so I don't remember this in real time, but I know she says it to Burger. I haven't gotten to Burger yet. But she goes, and by the way, my hat is fabulous. And her hat is actually ridiculous. But I love the commitment to her personal style, which actually makes it fabulous.
And you can see the famous like Carrie running off of a curb into the middle of New York City to go hail a cab, like
so many times. Every episode they do.
She has in her Manolos on, and every episode she
also
right off the curb.
Did you guys know that she got to keep every single item that was in her contract? We could never negotiate that today. And by the way, she wasn't even that big of a star when she got that, but they wanted her that badly. And she had just married, which this is another thing that you don't hear of often, a young actress. And I don't even know, she was in her 30s when she started filming this.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
And she's also an icon, but she had just married Matthew Broderick, which that doesn't happen often. They don't usually like want to put a married woman. Like, they didn't then, for sure, and they don't really want to do it now. They want you to be, like, attainable. So, like, but, like, who's watching but women, this show? Which men should watch the show. It's really entertaining. But she got to keep every item. And she has storage units. I don't know where they are. They have to be in New York because she's in New York. And I know that her daughter does not have the same shoe size as her. So that would break my heart. I don't have the same shoe size as my mom.
The Fendi baguettes that woman must have. Because Fendi baguette they're having a moment now, but they were having a major moment then.
Yeah, when they like were a thing.
And she had so many on that show. I think about.
And I don't see a lot of. I do watch to see if there's repeats of bags or like jewelry, and there's really not a lot, unless it doesn't stand out to me completely. But also, you know who else? I mean, everybody except Miranda got a great wardrobe for their character. Miranda. Like even like Charlotte, everything she wears, most of it I would never wear, but I'm like, wow, she looks so chic and cute,
but conservative.
Like, conservative, but they should have lovely.
They should have extended that chic conservativeness to
Miranda,
who was a lawyer. But I guess if they really were thinking, if you're in the courtroom at this day and age, you're in a chunky turtleneck.
Yeah, Samantha was in PR, so she could have leaned a little bit more
sexy,
chic and fun.
Remember when have you gotten to Smith yet? Her boyfriend Smith?
I haven't gone to Smith, but I did. So what started this watch thing again, because my friend suggested that I watch it from the beginning, and I was like, I'm not ready for that commitment. So I was watching like 4 other shows at the time on my own, not with J-Dog, and it's hard to get to TV. But then I watched the movie one night that I was home on a Friday, and the Sex and the City movie, the first one, and I was like, oh my gosh, the clothes. And I was reminded again, and I had seen the movie before, and I was also like, my hatred for Big. Also, everything Carrie does, I love Carrie. I love what she does because it's entertaining, but she is so immature. Everything she does is so cringe. Every choice she makes, I'm like, did you even think about that? There's a few times where she saw last night in the episode, she saw Aiden flirting with a bartender, and this is after he found out after you broke my heart, Carrie. So she cheated on him with Big. So she thinks he's trying to get her back. And so she sees him flirting, and she does something. She was like, oh, here's your dog. 'Cause she was out walking his dog. And then she's like, bye. And she goes and hails a tag. And I was like, cab. And I was like, that's the only time I can relate to you. Like when I see someone doing something, it's bye. I'm not even going to entertain this. Bye. That was the one time. But every other thing, I'm like, girl, what is she doing?
She couldn't help but wonder.
And also, by the way, I just giggle when she's writing her little articles. Also, last night, her computer crashed, and I thought it was hilarious.
Does she have the see-through Apple laptop?
Aiden just bought it for her.
Oh, okay.
So before, she had the older Apple. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't help but wonder. It made me wonder that I don't know why companies aren't bringing back see-through technology. What do we call these things? Electrical device. What do we call these?
Electronics.
Yeah. Thank you. I was like, what are we calling these? I want to see through Mac laptop. I would do a lot of things. I
want to see through cell phone.
Like I want to see through cell phone.
Landline phones.
I want to see through Game Boy when we were talking about Tamagotchis.
Have one,
yeah. I want a see through. I looked them up on. They actually do sell new ones, but I want an old one, and I've looked them up on eBay. They're very expensive. I want to see through digital camera. I want to see through everything.
I want a beeper. I want to see through beeper.
Ooh,
you don't even have to text me at all. You don't have to text me. No one has.
You can't text.
You don't have to.
You just have to say, I'm trying to get a hold of you. That's right.
And then I can say,
ooh, I love that.
Let me see if I feel like getting back to you or not.
The modern version of D&D. Also, what I did notice is I tried to be on D&D as much as I could on vacation, and people really don't like.
Would they notify you anyway?
I don't have that available, I don't think. But I do have where they'll just keep notifying me on their own. And even though I'm on site or on D&D, and I will go to it and I will be like, oh my gosh, you saw I was on D&D. Also, this isn't an emergency. Also, I will say my brother was telling me, because he works with a lot of younger people, he was saying how rude it is. He was like, a lot of the people I work with are on D&D, and I have to call them like 2-3 times before they see it in the middle of the day. And they're like, he was like, I just need to get a hold of them, but they're wasting my time. And they know they should be expecting a call. It's not like they're working.
Yeah, I don't know the etiquette on that.
I think you should, if you're working, and I try to remember this when I'm nannying, to have my phone not on D&D in case the parents need to get a hold of me. But if I'm on set, obviously everybody there who needs to get a hold of me, like right then and there, are there. So that's not a thing. It's always on D&D, and I don't even, it stays in my trailer when I'm on site, because like, no, you can get thrown off, so easily. But I wonder if we're going to come back around, like we're saying with journalism and with magazines, I wonder if we'll come back around to a beeper. I would like that.
I never got to have a pager, and a
pager.
What's a pager? They're the same thing. I never got to have one, but I desperately wanted one, and there was a mall kiosk that had every type of beeper.
Wait, when were beepers? Cover. Do you think like beepers were a thing?
Well, my dad had a pager.
He did
in the early 90s for sure. He had a pager.
I don't think either of my parents did. I'll have to ask.
This was definitely a 90s thing. My dad also had the first car phone, which was
I was about to ask you.
It was a gigantic brick. It was as big as his center console.
No, they're huge, and you go like that. I remember seeing them in movies. I never got to witness one that I recall. I'm sure I did, but I just don't remember. But I do remember car phones when they got smaller, but they were still car phones. And I think my mom had one for a brief stint, but you'd plug them into the cigarette thing. It wasn't as big as the thing that was connected to the console, but it was like, it looked like a cell phone, but it was still just for the car.
Yeah,
that's fabulous. I would
go back to a beeper.
A beeper. Yeah, obviously car phones are dangerous. We need 2 hands on the wheel, 10 and 2. But
we didn't in the 90s.
But you didn't even need a seatbelt in the 90s.
You didn't have to do anything.
I thought, do you remember booster seats? Not at a restaurant, but in the car. Like, it was just a seat that lifted you up and put like you still wore the big girl seatbelt, the seatbelt, but it would just be a bar that would, like, it was a thick bar that would come across your lap. Like, it wasn't, I mean, they still have them.
Well, I was going to say, we have for Scooby, it's just a booster. And then she uses the regular, I mean, it's just a lifter seat. Up.
Yes.
And she
So they
uses
do
thing.
still have them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but
that's right.
Yeah. I mean, like, this
silly.
booster
I remember
seats,
now they just look different. They're sleeker now.
Yeah, but it's still essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
You just need to get your height up. So if you get into an accident, that
you wouldn't choke.
The safety belt's in the right position.
Yep. I remember when I was younger being so excited when I was out of my booster seat. I felt like I could just rule the world in that back seat.
I don't ever remember being in a booster seat.
I do. I remember what mine looked like. I think I was scarred because my brother wasn't in one, and I was like, "What's the dealio? Why am I in a booster seat?"
I'm not saying I wasn't ever on one.
No, you definitely were,
but
for safety.
Certainly not for probably as long as they recommend you be in one now.
I was in one. Oh, no. Now I think it's crazy how also the car seats, like how long you face backwards. Like, I think all of that is crazy because I remember a time where you only, besides when you were in your pumpkin seat, I call it a pumpkin seat because my mom called it a pumpkin seat. I don't know what they're called. Like,
the carrier.
Yeah,
baby
there
carrier.
We go. I don't know why my mom called that a pumpkin seat, but the pumpkin seat, the carrier, those would go backwards. But as soon as you were in a real car seat, like a big girl car seat, or just like a car seat for a baby, but you just weren't a little baby, like not a Nuna, but a big Nuna.
Now they have like 3-in-1s where it's like it goes from carrier to car seat to booster seat.
That's wild.
But yeah, you have to be facing backwards for quite a while.
A long time. Woo.
Safety first.
So if I would like to go back to pagers. I want a clear purple one or a pink one or an orange one. Any of the MAC colors.
Very Clueless of us.
Yes.
Any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are bring back pagers, beepers, whatever we want to call them. Watch Sex and City from the beginning. Carrie is so cringy, but she dresses fabulous. And she broke, and it's art. And this all goes back to clothes are our hobby.
Yes. My closing thought is that clothes are my hobby.
And bring back journalism, real journalism, professional journalism.
I co-sign that. And with that, please rate, review, subscribe. Please share this episode with a friend, and we love you very much. We will see you next Thursday.
Janine, take us home, sis. Ah!